VanDerwerker. I am with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, and I am here with Annie Brill from Saratoga Winery.
Hi.
Hi, Annie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for meeting with me.
My pleasure.
We finally got together.
Yes.
It took a little bit of planning.
Yes.
And,
Always
some
crazy around the
snowstorms.
snowstorms, holidays, you name it.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the winery.
So the Saratoga Winery started here in this space in 2009. The current owners purchased it, and it was just a tiny little tasting room. They basically were just making wine, and they could only pour tastings. They couldn't even pour full-size glasses.
Okay.
And then it is really kind of a beautiful example of how an organic business just kind of grew. So they have been really good about responding to the needs and wants of their customers, and the business has just kind of grown to reflect what their customers want. As they got busier, they expanded their liquor license to include being able to pour full glasses and sell, different spirits. They've expanded the space to include, the room that we are in right now, and then our big wine barn event space. They've expanded their liquor license to include craft beers and ciders. And recently, right before the pandemic, at the end of 2019, they took over the restaurant kitchen. So to turn it into a full-service restaurant and winery, an event venue, which is, kind of what we are now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great that they, kind of listened to the neighborhood and, decided that this is what everybody's looking for, because there's a lot of breweries and things, but not a lot of wineries that offer full service food and
exactly,
all
and
that
live
kind of
music
stuff.
and
Right.
public events and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect. So what made you want to get into this arena?
I actually started my kind of journey into hospitality started in event planning and wedding planning.
Okay.
I started by planning my own wedding, and after I was kind of done, I realized that I didn't realize that everyone didn't plan weddings as obsessively and neurotically and psychotically as I did. And I realized it's a passion of mine, so I became a certified wedding planner and a member of the Association of Bridal Consultants.
Nice.
I am not from around here, so I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
And I started an event planning business in Chicago. My husband and I were looking to settle down, wanted to kind of change our lives and switch things up, so I reached out to the wedding venue where we got married here in Saratoga and said, you guys are busier than ever. It's so great. I think you need another event coordinator. And the event coordinator there was like, I'm actually looking for a replacement for myself.
Oh,
So this is perfect.
okay.
So I kind of started there as the first venue that I worked at, and quickly became their director of events. And that was really where I learned a lot of my food service, hospitality experience, in terms of I wasn't just planning, I was also the catering manager and setting up all of the food service and things like that, and became a passion of mine. And during the pandemic, I was looking to kind of switch things up and looking for a change. And the current owners of the winery are friends with some friends of mine, and they were looking for a new GM, didn't want to put the job out there, on like Indeed or all the platforms, and we're kind of just doing a kind of an underground search, and had reached out to my friend saying, hey, do you know anyone? And he was like, I think I've got just the right person for you.
Oh, nice.
And I met with the owner. We had a 2-hour meeting. We hit it off instantly.
Okay.
And kind of took life from there. So I started here in November of 2020,
Okay.
and I've been here for a little over 2 years now.
Nice. And so what were the challenges being a part of the pandemic and being a restaurant and all of that, where you couldn't have certain people, you couldn't have people here for a while? Like, how did they survive?
They survived a lot through takeout business and the support of locals. One thing that I'm always so impressed with Saratoga is what a great community we are, and how much we celebrate local businesses.
Yeah.
And I think we really saw that during the pandemic, of everybody really just wanted to patronize all the local businesses, keep these businesses open and afloat, which really helped the whole community kind of stay afloat, at large. So when I came on board, restaurants had been shut down and were reopened to, less, like I think it was 25 or 50% capacity.
Okay.
So I was kind of there in that space. But when I came on board, it was right at the rise of, numbers were rising again, and it was just getting real bad. So I started in November, and then we shut the restaurant down from January through March to just do takeout business because the numbers were just so high. It wasn't really, safe, and people weren't really coming out. We were just seeing the business drop, and we were like, I think for this point, it's better to take the business model and make it to go, take out, things like that.
Sure.
It also gave us an opportunity to really kind of regroup and think about how we were gonna really start our 2021 kind of on the other side of the pandemic, which, where we are, hopefully, right? But that closed time really gave us an opportunity to look back, because I had just come on board. It really gave me an opportunity to look back, kind of study the business model, study what they were doing, what worked, what didn't work, what we want to keep, what we want to change. And a couple of the big changes that I proposed and we adopted were really focusing on a brunch destination. So when I first started here, we were just 12 to 9 for 4 days a week, and it was important to me to kind of shift. The owner was like, I want to do brunch. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Yeah. And so we were like, well, let's make it happen. So we shifted our business model so that Saturdays and Sundays were only open for brunch 10 to 4. And that gave us the opportunity to really kind of change how we did our weddings as well. Yeah. They had built the wine barn right at the end of 2019 for all the 2020 weddings that they booked that had to get postponed. Yeah. So I was coming in and on board with a lot of wedding dates and kind of a blank canvas as to how we wanted to structure those. And I felt like it was important that when you're having a wedding here, you really should be able to take advantage of the entire property. Yeah. Which was kind of how the brunch business model came to be, in that we can, have brunch from 10 to 4. But on days that I have a wedding, I can end reservations a little bit early. It's not confusing to customers, where it's like this Saturday night we're open, but then we're closed, but then we're open. I wanted it to, kind of be consistent.
Right. Yeah, because it is hard for some places when they're only open certain days, or then you think that they're open, but they're not open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we kept it so that Saturday nights were basically just going to be for events. Okay. We can kind of end reservations a little bit early when we have events, and then be able to really flip the space and utilize it. So our clients, our brides and grooms are coming in, being able to enjoy, all of the outside, the entire winery, have their option to really have a unique wedding that has, maybe we do cocktail hour over here and dinner over there, and really get that personal feel, which is what couples were looking for, if you're booking an event here, you're looking for that unique charm. Right. And I really wanted to be able to give them the opportunity to take advantage of that.
Right. And it's nice that they can use the whole entire place.
Yeah.
They're not trying to fit in amongst other
Exactly. And having other customers coming in and kind of poking their head in on the wedding and things like that. Right. So it really allowed us, and it also allowed us to book larger events. Because now we can accommodate more people.
Right. Yeah, because if you have the whole, just...
Yeah, I can only really do like about 120 over there. I can do 150 if I've got the whole space.
Right. Nice. Yeah. They are doing some construction, it sounds
they
like.
They are doing a little bit of construction,
yeah. Fixing up some things. So
exactly. Taking advantage of the bright sunny days in January
exactly.
that we can experience.
I know, where it's not like super cold.
Exactly.
And snowy and whatever. Any memorable customer experiences that you've had?
I mean, I have been lucky to have great relationships we have regulars here who are wonderful and phenomenal, and it's like seeing old friends every time they come in, and we catch up, and I have a couple that bring me flowers every time they come. I swear to God, nice. It's amazing. Yeah. And I also am really lucky to have kind of carved great relationships with the couples and the private clients. Yeah. So, I'm really fortunate to be in this business. I'm a people person. Yeah. So to be able to form connections and still have people come back and visit and become regulars, and, it's very special to be a part of that.
Yeah, very nice. So you have wine, you have craft beer, you have ciders. What is your favorite?
So we also carry New York State spirits.
Oh, good.
So, if they are made in New York State, we can bring it in. My favorites are, there's definitely some of the wine. I love our rosé. It's outstanding. It's one of the best varietals I think we have. We also have an interesting varietal called, which is a combination of the Chardonnay grape and the Cayuga grape. Okay. So Cayuga is a grape that's mostly grown in. It's a hardier grape that can withstand our climates. Yeah. And our winemaker had blended it with a Chardonnay, and it's really it's a beautiful blend. It's one of my favorites.
Nice. any problems that you've had? You know, when you're dealing with alcohol, you can sometimes have, patrons that are not following all the rules.
From time to time, we get customers that, get a little enthusiastic or excited,
Right.
or, I mean, that's the thing about this business, is that it's never boring, which is one of the things I love. It's not like you're going into a 9-to-5 job and it's going to be the same typing every day. Every day it's different. Every day it's, a new challenge or a new problem. And it forces you to really, think on your feet, calm under pressure, and get creative with solutions, which are three things that I love. Keeps it exciting and interesting for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So being in the Saratoga area, have you had any famous people come to the winery that you know of? I mean, they may not want to advertise
No,
it.
we've had, we do a big event with the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation every year.
Okay.
So we get a lot of, name jockeys, the famous jockeys will come through and be a part of that. Other than that, I can't really think of any other celebrities that have come through during my tenure.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to let us know about the winery that we don't already know?
It's a great place to come year round. It's especially amazing in the summer. We have, I think, probably the biggest outdoor space, kind of backyard in all of Saratoga. Yeah. It's hard to find another space that has this much space. We sit on 7 acres. Yeah. And it's nice, the feedback that I'm getting from our customers is that a lot of people, especially if you live kind of on the west side of Saratoga, Boston Spa, Galway, Milton, they're not really, looking to go downtown, especially in the summer. Right. It's crowded, it's crazy, you can't park, and so they're happy to have this place because it's kind of off the beaten path. It's it's a lot of locals know about it. We get the tourists a lot, but on a Friday night it's mostly locals, Thursday night, and they like that they don't have to deal with the craziness of Saratoga, but still have a really warm and welcoming environment and great food and drink that's right in their own backyard.
Yeah, well, it's a lovely space. I've taken some pictures, so I'll definitely include them in the video so that everybody can kind of get a sense, and I'll take some pictures outside as well. Mm-hmm. But thank you so much for meeting with me and telling me about your business and your job and all about the winery, and I look forward to sharing it more with all of you that want to see the video.
Yes, so, can't wait to see all the people come in.
Yeah, Annie Brill with the Saratoga Winery, and I am Tina VanDerwerker with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices.